Right, so I shall come to this NMR spectrophotometer later, but first of all, I would like to present the last method of spectroscopic method that we are discussing, but this is not the only. You have already come across microwave spectroscopy, IR spectroscopy, UV visible spectroscopy, and then we switched over to mass spectrometry. This is the final. Included in the syllabi is NMR. But keeping in mind, these are not only 4 or 5 types of spectroscopic method. There are so many others. Like we haven't focused much on microwave because it is not much applicable. It is not having a very big application in organic chemistry. So that's why we are not discussing that at the moment. But at the moment, what we are, there are so many other spectroscopic methods like XRD, X-ray diffractometry. So in which we are using X-rays passing through a crystalline lattice, right? So here our analyte should be a crystalline compound. So you have seen that in all spectroscopic methods, it is not applicable to all molecules. Microwave spectroscopy is only applicable to such molecules which have a permanent dipole. If there is no permanent dipole, like in methane, we cannot study that by microwave. Similarly, if you are having IR, it must have an induced dipole. Even if it doesn't have a permanent dipole, then we can study such bonds. You see, in an organic molecule, we cannot study carbon, hydrogen bond separately, but normally, if we have a hetero bond, carbon, nitrogen, or nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, double bond, etc. These type of molecule or bonds which have a dipole can be studied by IR as well. So there are limitations. Similarly, you have come across in UV visible. So we can only apply UV visible spectroscopy to such molecules which have conjugation. For unconjugated system, we cannot use this. So these are the limitations. There are specific applications, not all molecules cannot be studied by any method of analysis. And you have also come across that the spectroscopic method which involve transition in rotational energy level and vibrational energy level, we express the units of energy in wave number. And in case where electronic transitions are involved, like UV visible, XRD, and so many others, so we use here another wavelength as a unit of energy, right? And similarly, if transition is taking place in uh, electronic or nuclear spins. In other words, that if it is, we are involving a radio frequencies are being used, a radio band commonly called. So we are using frequency units. We have studied, I have presented this in much detail already, that in radios, in telecommunication, cellular systems, wireless communication, television signals, everywhere we are using frequency units. Why? Because we are using radio frequencies. 10 to raise power 6 to 10 to raise power 9 hertz or slightly higher than that. So this is a band where we are using, in fact, frequency units. Next band is microwave, where we are using wave number units. So now we are going to start the NMR and ESR. ESR is not in your syllabi, but the principle of NMR and ESR is very similar, no difference at all. But keeping in mind what we shall use here, units we shall use that I have given in green region. So this green is the frequency. So we use frequency units, which is 10 to raise power 6 to 10 to raise power 9 hertz. If I take the log of frequency, it is 6 to 9, right? Log of frequency 6 to 9. So 10 to raise power 6 is commonly called mega, if you remember, and 10 to raise power 9 is commonly called giga. So this is a megahertz or gigahertz. So that's why we normally use capital M, HZ mean megahertz or gigahertz. Keeping in mind why we are splitting this band into two. Why 10 to raise power 6 and 10 to raise power 9. This is the range, right? So 10 to raise power 6 and 10 to raise power is the range. But less energy is required to resonate a nuclear energy level, and for electronic energy level, basically electronic spin can be inverted using higher energy. I'm just going to explain in bottom ender here. So what is electronic spin or nuclear spin? So if I convert this 10 raised power 6 into wave number, this is 300 to 0.3 meter, in fact, right? So this is the, in fact, the 10 raised power 9 hertz is 0.3 meter. This is the wavelength. And wave number, this is 3.33 10 raised power minus 3 to 3.33 per meter. For 10 raised power 6 are these values, and 10 raised power 9, these values, right? So 10 raised power 6, or you can say megahertz energy is used to in NMR, and 10 to raise power 9 is used in ESR. First of all, what NMR and ESR stands for? NMR stands for nuclear magnetic resonance, and ESR stands for electron spin resonance. Both are resonance. You have already studied in physics about the resonance, and you have studied resonance in chemistry. This is not a in fact resonance. Here resonance means transitions, conversion. All right, so it is not the conventional chemical resonance. The resonance rules of resonance you have come across, delocalization of electron. Here there is no such entity. Resonance doesn't mean this here. And similarly, you have come across resonance in because this is relevant to the physics terminology of resonance. So what is resonance in physics? That everything according to physics rules is in the motion of vibration. Everything is vibrating, and they have a frequency of vibration. Let's say I'm speaking, my tongue is in vibration. If I am moving, my body is moving, it has a frequency. So everything according to physics rules is in the state of vibration. Everything is vibrating. Even this wall you are saying, this is also vibrating. Everything is vibrating. Everything making a sound, that is vibrating. So similarly, anything which is moving, it also produces sound waves. So that is also in the state of vibration, mean it has a specific frequency. So when the frequency of something matches with the frequency of other, it gets its amplitude increases. You have taken the example in FSC already, that whenever the soldiers are passing through a bridge, they are stopped to pass through by moving by parading. So if they are parade, so they cannot parade on a bridge, because bridge has a vibration. Many accident has taken place when soldiers, they are moving with same rhythm. They are producing a frequency which has a specific amplitude. If this frequency meets the frequency of bridge, frequency of soldier parade, because it is making a sound, it has a frequency, and the frequency of the bridge, because air is applied on bridge, it is making a, if you move on a bridge, so very specifically if it is fast wind is blowing, so sometimes you see some specific vibrations in the bridge. So it lets you know when it is fast winds, it has a specific vibration. But if it is slow, it again has a frequency. If this frequency of bridge matches with the frequency of the parade soldiers, then keeping in mind the bridge collapse. So whenever soldiers are passing through a bridge, they are ordered to pass through without parade randomly, so that the frequency shouldn't match. Every soldier shall have a different frequency. Otherwise, the amplitude shall increase and the bridge shall collapse. This is something which you have already come. This is called resonance. When the frequency of two things becomes equal. Here is a principle. This is the same resonance. Resonance means when let's say I have presented here, this is a particle. I'm not saying this is the electron, a proton, or a neutron, any particle. It may be any planet, just like if it is moving, let's say this is our Earth. Earth has two movements. One, it is moving around the sun, which we call orbital motion. Second, it is moving along its axis from north to south. It is also moving. And in what direction it is moving? From the axis of north, if we point out, it is moving anti-clockwise. If it is moving anti-clockwise, so what happens? You can observe that here is the basic principle that when Earth is revolving, it's spinning around its axis, so it produces a magnetic field, right? So this magnetic field is important. Higher is the mass of this body, higher shall be the magnetic field. You have studied this in physics as well. So similarly, let's say from macro system, if we go to the micro system. So this is let's say it has a specific rotation. So if we supply a electromagnetic radiation and if it reverse this one, it spin, it is moving clockwise, it transfer this to anti-clockwise. So there is the electromagnetic radiation. The electromagnetic radiation frequency and the frequency it is producing due to movement, that shall become equal. That's why it shall be inverted. You shall see that in much detail. This is called resonance. So electron spin resonance and nuclear magnetic resonance. These are the two spectroscopic methods. In electron spin resonance, we are focusing on unpaired electron because you have already studied the 4 quantum numbers in physical chemistry. One is quantum number starts from principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, magnetic quantum number, and spin quantum number, if you remember. These are the 4 solutions of Schrodinger wave equation. So these solutions provides us the atomic structure using the principal, azimuthal, magnetic, and spin quantum numbers. So I am using the same that whenever you have 2 orbitals, you are familiar with electronic energy levels. So when you have 2 electron or one orbit can maximum accommodate maximum 2 electrons in one orbit. In one, let's say you have principal quantum number have a value 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. 1 stands for K, L, M, N, O, P as it is increasing. This is the number of shell it is showing. But each shell further have different subshells that we call SPDF, right? Similarly, every orbital, subshell have orbitals. Like S has only 1 orbital, P has 3 orbital, D has 5 orbital, and F has 7 orbitals. Each orbital further in spin quantum number says has all of these values. So it shall have 2 electrons maximum can be accommodated. One shall have a clockwise rotation, other shall have spinning of anti-clockwise. Means spin of both shall be opposite. One shall be minus half, other shall be plus half. And you have seen, according to Pauli exclusion principle, all electrons in a atom have different quantum number values. Their principal quantum number value is same, then there may be azimuthal quantum number would be different. If let's say they are also same, right? Similarly, their magnetic quantum number may be different, maybe it is also same, but when you are going to because any azimuthal quantum number, sorry, magnetic quantum number, if you have one orbital you choose, both electrons shall have a opposite spin. No, here they shall be differentiated. Even if they have a principal azimuthal and magnetic quantum number same, they cannot have spin quantum number same in same orbital, right? So this is what you have already come across. So no two electrons in an atom have same quantum number value. They all have a different quantum number value. So they are discrete. So if you are having paired electron in the orbital, paired electrons, one is rotating clockwise, other is anti-clockwise. So what shall be the resultant? Zero. So two electrons in each orbit shall have an impact zero. So they are not having an electron. But if we are focusing on organic molecules, in organic molecules, there are covalent bonding, carbon-carbon overlapping, carbon-hydrogen overlapping, carbon overlapping with a heteroatom like this. Everywhere you shall find, because whenever covalent bond is formed, it is by the mutual equal sharing. One electron from each overlap to form two electrons, which goes to molecular orbital. So it may be sigma, it may be pi bond. If it is sigma bond, both electron in pair form goes to sigma, sigma star remains empty. If a pi bond is formed, both electron goes to pi bond and pi star remain empty. So sigma and pi are electron paired. So they cancel out the effect of it. So all organic molecules which are neutral, uncharged, they are in fact cannot be studied by ESR because they doesn't have an unpaired electron. And similarly, if you have a carbocation, carbon with positive charge, mean one atom is removed with taken both electron. So again, all electron in a carbocation are also paired form. So carbocation can also not be studied. In case of carbanions, you have a negative charge on carbon. So carbon bearing a negative charge, these two electrons, negative charge mean two electrons are there. One electron of carbon and other electron of the shared atom. So both are present on carbon. So they are again paired form. So neutral molecule, organic molecule, radical carbocation, carbanions, they cannot be studied by ESR. But let's say if a free radical is generated in organic molecule, homolytic cleavage takes place, we get a carbon bearing a radical. Any organic molecule, it is not necessary the radical should be on carbon, it may be on oxygen, it may be on nitrogen, it may be on anything else. If you have an organic molecule which generates a radical on carbon, on nitrogen, on oxygen, on halogen, on anything else, then we can study such molecule because it has one electron which is unpaired. Either it is present on carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, or anything else. This shall be studied by ESR. Why? Because we have an unpaired electron. Similarly, we can also study the non-organic molecules like transition metal complexes or simple transition metal ions. In pure states or in oxidized form like ferrous, ferric ions when they are coordinating with the different ligands. So transition metal complexes also have unpaired electron in d orbital. You have come across this. So if unpaired electrons are present in the transition metal complexes, we can also study them by ESR, electron spin resonance. So electron spin resonance has a little application in organic chemistry, because mostly what we are studying are carbon neutral molecule, or carbon first converting into a carbocation or a carbanion. So all mechanisms which we call polar mechanisms, concerted mechanisms. So all of them doesn't involve one electron separate. So we cannot study organic mechanism, organic molecules when they are following polar mechanism. But if they are in a free radical form, so then we can study them. So this is the only such molecules which follow a free radical mechanism can be studied by ESR. Otherwise, it had no further applications. So this is the reason why ESR is not included in your syllabi, because it doesn't give very good information. Like microwave doesn't give you very good information. Like some other spectroscopic method doesn't give you a good applications, like magnetic susceptibility. So we are having a few seconds remaining.